Hello everybody, I'm Karen Gibbs, Design Director for Banyan Boutiques, and this is Karen Gibbs for the Love of Boutiques. Today I want to talk about collections and fabrics and boutiques, and all of this is starting to hit your stores right now. We just got it, I think it was last week, into the warehouse, so I thought I'd show you the whole Northern Lights collection. And obviously it's based on Northern Lights, right? That's my inspiration, but then where do you go from there? And that's what I'm talking about today. You want to see some of the fabric? We've got some of the fabric right behind me, and we'll kind of pan over that so you see all the different fabrics in there, all the different movement, the colors that I selected. Let me know what's your favorite, which ones you would use, what you would use it for, and what kind of projects you think you want to play with the Northern Lights collection with. Now, this collection, I'm so excited to say, is featured in the March Quilty Box. So get quilty and sign up for your Quilty Box. There's an interesting project I have in there, and I'll be talking more about it over the next couple weeks. All right, so let's talk about first design of the collection. Obviously, color inspiration is a big thing, okay? But I've got 3 different designs here that I'm going to show you kind of how I created them. The Northern Lights, the color and the motion of color is the big thing. But in order to show motion of color, you need something like this, where it's kind of branches, right? And this kind of gives a line drawing or a stripe, but not really a stripe, so you don't have to match it up. Notice I'm using a Sharpie, and I'm using the Sharpie on this because of the point of it. It's thicker line, so then I don't get trapped into, oh, I can put a lot of detail on this, because there's a limited amount of detail that can go into these because they are made of copper. Like this one right here, you can see it's made of copper and little pieces of copper. When it's dipped into the wax, it then pools. So I have to worry about the negative space here too, like in between these lines. So when I'm going to sketch it, I need to think about the negative space, because the wax will pool, which means the color of the motif will show and possibly get muddy if I put too many. If I put lines together like this, then all of a sudden it's a big pool of wax. Okay, so this one is more branches, like the night sky behind it. This one right here, Olivia, my youngest, refers to as galaxy. And as you can tell, I love dots. In this shop too, I love dots. And it's a pointillism kind of technique. And so you just draw, you're drawing dots, right? But notice how I've got it in a swirl kind of thing here. And then I'll just put a little stars in there, kind of like this, you know, just simple designs like this. Okay, and that gives a different kind of effect. Now on this right here, if I color it in, it's more solid, right, like that. Or if I do this, it's more of a line drawing, and maybe there's a little bit of background that will come through. Now here, I've got to think about, how is this going to repeat across the fabric? Do I want a swirl going this way? Do I draw the dots to make the swirl going that way? The pointillism takes a little longer to sketch out and draw, but I love it. I love the effect of it. And notice the small little stars here. Okay. Again, negative space. I got to worry about the negative space there because it's going to pool a little bit. You can see here, this is what the fabric looks like. The dots are where the motif is, or the motif color. So the yellow is the motif color, and the background then is applied after, and that is the green and the kind of blue aqua. Okay, so let's move to this design right here. And I kind of started to sketch this, and it's the motion, right? It's that motion, but I'm playing with the line width, all right? So I'm pooling the wax, or holding the motif color a little more in certain areas, and then I go narrow in other areas. And this helps add motion of color, so it kind of interacts then, right? I can go like this, and how am I going to repeat this? Do I put it in a line like this to go around and maybe fill it in, something like that? Okay, so then it holds the color on it, all right, something like that. Okay, so I'd fill this into, and again, this is going to be made into a block like this. and then it's got a repeat. Notice how on this one, and this is from the Stardust collection, notice on this one how it kind of, this paisley or this clamshell kind of skirts into the next one. Well, it comes in down here. So the repeat is down here. So you got to be well aware of how your design is going to repeat on it too. Okay, so this one has more motion. This one has a little bit of motion with the swirl and the dots. And this one is more kind of a stripe effect. So let's talk a little bit about the colors in these right over here. Okay, we'll start with this one here. You can see we've got almost a flat black in the background, right? And I always say like a flat black or a dark navy is wonderful to showcase the colors, okay? These are the colors that I've chosen to go in the motif. Now these colors, the motif colors, go down first, and then you bleach it out, and then you put the background on. Or if you chosen a background color that would cover the motifs, you don't have to do the bleach out there. And that's what I've chosen here. That's why it's so clean. The motif is just beautiful, clean, saturated color on there because the background is applied after. This one, the Galaxy one, I've done the yellow first, and then the background. And you can see there's kind of a little bit difference in application of color in the background. There's not a lot of soda. All right, see how the blue aqua is right here and then the green? The soda is what makes it kind of interact, all right? And there's a less soda in this one, so you see like striations of the blue, which is wonderful because this is Northern Lights collection, okay? This one right here, I kind of wanted a smoky kind of effect in the background. So your color here in the motif is one color chosen, but when you scrunch it up, the smoking technique, that gives you a kind of light, medium, and dark in the motif. Then the background, I've chosen this color here and a gray. Okay, so combining those, you can see kind of gives a smoky kind of effect behind, all right? So that gives you just a little bit of an idea of the collection that I'm doing. Let's go to these two here. Speaking of color, these two are part of the collection as well. This one is a scenic kind of print, but notice how the motif is white in here, all right? And then the background is a periwinkle, right? This is a clean white. So in other words, we didn't add any color whatsoever to the motif coloration. And then the background is a clean periwinkle. Here on this one, I chose to put some cream, a little bit of yellow. Can you see the yellow in there? As well as gray. It's kind of a blue gray. When you go to bleach it out to apply the background, it doesn't come out totally white. It comes out with a little cast of the gray in there. So then you've got a tonal effect between the two of them, right? This one has a little bit more gray or dark in the periwinkle color. All right, so make sure you look at your batiks and check them out and see how are you making tones of red. You know, are you putting it in the motif? Are you putting it in the background? Look at your batiks and see what colors that you prefer to use. What do you think about the Northern Lights collection? I'm so excited that we have put it in the quilty box, and it, like I said, it's going to be in March. And I designed two patterns. One's a beginner pattern, one's a little bit more, I call it advanced beginner, but it's wonderful to put together. They're mini projects, so not a huge time commitment necessarily, but it gives you something to play with the Northern Lights collection by Banyan Batiks. This is in stores, or coming to stores right now. So your stores will also have it. So if you want to choose a different background or something like that, you obviously can do that, and you can check out your local quilt shop. Check out banyanbatiks.com. They have a product finder guide, and you can find what store near you carries the Northern Lights collection. Now make sure to comment. Today I can't shout out and say hi because we're playing around with the camera and everything. So make sure you comment, and we'll do a drawing, and we'll send some fat quarters to the lucky winner of the Northern Lights collection. Thanks for joining me.